Every nerve in her body sang at his touch. She almost began to think that the burial shroud her old room had become was fitting for the part of her that was dying and being reborn, remade under his lips and fingertips. She would have sacrificed herself freely to him until his words brought everything crashing down. She did not want to stay in the house forever. She did not want to live with Titus's threats breathing down her neck. She had gotten away once, and she would not be stuck again now. When she ran out on him, she had made it to the guest bedroom's floor, where she shoved the dress into one of the shopping bags from Randa's and pulled on a pair of pajamas as fast as she could. She shoved her hair behind her face, feeling dust stuck to her cheeks with tears. God, she was crying. Why was she crying? Before the question could even finish crossing her mind, her fluttering heart and hyperventilation told her why. Her skin missed his touch. Already. Her body betrayed everything she thought she wanted. It clearly wanted him. His absence was pain in her chest, and she thought she might die if she didn't look at him again. She wanted to scream. Jessa, you are so much stronger than this. Shit. She pressed her palms to her head and closed her eyes. Why was she so scared of everything but him? She ran as if she was, but it was only what he said that ricocheted like a bullet in her chest, making his absence even more painful. She snatched a hairband from the nightstand and put her hair up as she made her way to the divan, listening for his steps coming down the stairs. He wasn't gone. Holland was very much still in the house, and from the sound of his voice and the look on his face, he hated himself as much as she was beginning to hate herself. She sat on the divan to stop her fidgeting and held her knees close to her chest. He said he was sorry, but all she could do was repeat how she was going to sell the house. Then he said her name and her body betrayed her even further. Warmth pulled in her, and she was terrified of what she might do if he sat down, but even the distance between them made her ache. She didn't need to touch him, Jessa thought. She just needed him there. When he sat down, it was like catching a breath. It was okay. He was there, and he was sorry. Neither of them knew what to say. It was horribly awkward, but she didn't want him to leave. Finally, she mastered herself enough to ask, "Can Mary shift?" "What?" He looked as if he was shocked out of his thoughts more than he was surprised by the question. "I remember." Jessa closed her eyes and cursed herself. Her voice was husky still with the passion from earlier. She tried again. "I remember you and Titus often shifting when we were kids." It amazed her that she could say Titus's name more casually now than she could mere hours ago. She knew why. She was looking at the reason for everything she was feeling. Holland thought for a moment. "I don't know. Truthfully, I haven't spoken to Mary about it, and I don't know if she's tried." "I feel as if it's just something that would happen," Jessa said. "It might be," he nodded in agreement. "Sometimes it takes longer for babies that are not purebred." Jessa shuddered at the word purebred being used for a kid, but she understood what he meant. Mary's mom was not a shifter. If Mary had the gene, it would take longer to develop and mature. At what age would you rule it out? Jessa wasn't sure why she was asking, if she was genuinely curious or looking for a distraction. "Around 12, we'll know for sure." She nodded her head, falling into silence, and unsure of what more to say. "Jessa." She closed her eyes at the sound of her name coming from him. "Holland?" she said back, and was pleased to see it had the same effect on him. "What do you remember?" He put his hand on the back of the couch, and she leaned back to feel the weight of it against her shoulders. His fingers reached out and rubbed lightly over her shirt, tracing the seam along her neck. She almost whimpered at the touch, but bit her tongue. What did she remember? She remembered everything despite her efforts to forget.